can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Holy on slow!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw on a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lincoln's got 35-40. Lincoln's got 45-50. 45-40. Run, Lincoln. 25-20. 50. 10. 5. Lincoln stop. Lincoln stop. Lincoln stop.
Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Georgia. 54 seconds to go. Keely Ringo with about a 75-yard return. No flags. 32-18. Let the celebration begin.
I broke my chair. I came right through a chair, a metal steel chair with about a 5-inch cinch. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now.
Do you believe it?
Yeah, do you believe it? It's Friday, the fabulous, fantastic Football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning with yours truly, Brian Snow, a.k.a. the Snowman, along with Cole Johnson, that man in charge of
Cosmo.
Love it. Love it. This is going to be a fun Friday. All about the wild cards, the Super Wild Card Weekend. Who the hell came up with that idea? I don't know. But it's there. Because they wanted to give extra teams a chance in the playoffs. And they made a mistake with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year when they got smacked by the Cleveland Browns. But all of that can be washed away with some good wild card games this weekend. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning. And how are you doing, sir?
I am actually doing wonderful this morning.
That's good.
Yes, it is.
That's very good.
Yes, I'll put it this way. So, work has caught the NFL Super Wild Card Weekend fever. I just got out of a meeting. Yeah, I just got out of a meeting with a person who did trivia, and the trivia was all about the Bengals. And she was a super fan of the Bengals. I mean, to the point where she painted her nails orange and black. So of course I got some jokes in there, like
of course
you
have to. You have to. It's football.
Yeah. So right. So one of the questions was, what was the Carl Pickens clause? I said it must be the clause where the Bengals were promised not to make the playoffs. And of course. And of course, the clause is basically it's like if you're going to say something bad or slanderous, you can't do it about the team. That's what the clause was. Right. But it was early this morning that really got my juices flowing and going. So 7:30 every morning, my workplace holds a regional meeting, and there's three, and our region is broken up into three sub-regions. So for my sub-region, have to pull trending topics for the area in which I cover. So when it was my turn today, before I pulled the stories, I was thinking, what can I say about Wildcard Weekend? Because my area involves Pennsylvania. And of course, both the Eagles and the Steelers are going to be playing this weekend, actually playing this Sunday. So I didn't really have to say much or anything about the Eagles. So I was fine. I let the Eagles slide. Good. But
you didn't let the Steelers slide, did you?
No, I didn't let the Steelers slide because my manager is a hardcore Steelers fan. So
right.
Every now and then, I try not to do it every day or every other day, but every now and then I throw in slick jabs at her with the trending stuff, and I do it like an anchor. So I basically write this mini script, and I deliver it much like a news anchor. So this morning, when I got to all the stories, and I said, and finally, on a sad note, We'll be observing a moment of silence right now because Ben Roethlisberger will be playing his last game Sunday night. And so I paused for 5 seconds. Then I concluded it. My manager leads this meeting every morning, right? So
Right.
I threw it back to her, and she paused for about 2 seconds, and then her words were, quote, "I wish I could mute you every now and then." Close quote. Made my day right
See, but that's the fun part. That's the pure, unadulterated fun part of any sports season. You know, it doesn't matter who your team is or your friend's team is. You throw jabs like that. You don't take it too seriously because it's football and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's football and it's football and it's fun.
In fact, the staff meeting that we hold, and that we held one this week, I actually was like, you know what, just to make it really fun and give my manager props, I actually gave a mea culpa. I said, you know what, before we adjourn, I have to say, congratulations to your Steelers, because the miracle that happened in Jacksonville made it all possible. I don't know how it happened, but it was. So I am eating a massive amount of crow. You should have seen the beaming look on my manager's face.
I believe.
It was well worth doing the mea culpa.
Yeah,
it was beautiful to watch.
It's well worth it. And when the Colts played the 49ers earlier this year, my wife, who's a Colts fan, as you know, as you guys know, but unfortunately she was just so tired and she had to go to work the next day. Of course, that was a Sunday night game in Santa Clara in a mud pile. Colts won 30-18. Right. Woke up and I'm helping her get ready for work, and I said, I have one more note for you before you leave. And she says, what's that? I said, do you know that big pile of food in the refrigerator? She said, yeah. I said, there's a big pile of crow with it that I'm going to be eating for breakfast this morning. Jody fell out laughing. She goes, why do you always do this to me when I have to go to work? I said, so I can keep you laughing. And she says, all right. And then that day she also said both of our teams would make the playoffs. Unfortunately, hers didn't, and I don't want to get into that because there's something that we have to do that I promised yesterday.
Okay. That
we're going to get into right now.
In a world where greatness is celebrated and greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant since 2003. There's an insight for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally wages on. These are stories. Welcome to Sexual Confessions.
Reason we're doing this because my partner some time ago sent me a post that was in a group on Facebook. And I also said yesterday that this would clear about 25 minutes. So since that is the case, and Courtney Harden will join us at the bottom of the hour, we're going to break down this entire paragraph that is just 3 long run-on sentences.
That's a very good description of it.
That's about all I can come up with. All right. Here it is. And the first part is in capital letters. The only person I would let clap my cheeks is Braun. And as I'm reading this, I read this yesterday when Cole and I got off the air. Why is clap spelled with 2 P's?
I mean, out the gate. The grammatical and spelling errors are just blatant.
My wife was a professor at Indiana State University for 5 years.
Oh my God.
I let her read this. You should have seen the look I got in return.
Oh my gosh.
No, I am not sus, gay, or none of that. These hater say on the FB.
I forgot about the hater. Oh,
folks,
Lord.
I'm reading this verbatim. I promise you, I'm reading this verbatim.
Yeah. Yeah, because I will tell you, I have known this man now about 5 years. He has never spoken to me like this ever. So I know this isn't from him.
No, this is verbatim, folks.
Oh my God.
Meeting LeBron. I'm almost afraid to repeat the rest of this sentence. And remember, when I did Brown Sexual Confessions yesterday, this is what I closed with. So to open it with this and break down the whole damn thing, what did I say yesterday when we had our meeting off the air? We're going to break down the whole damn pie?
Break up the whole pie. Mm-hmm.
Meeting LeBron is like meeting Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Denzel Washington, Rihanna, Drake, period. No and between Rihanna and Drake to really make it grammatically correct. And he didn't capitalize Drake, which is a proper name. And I was taught many years ago that if you're using a proper name, you have to capitalize the first letter thereof. I believe Drake is a proper name, whether it describes a rapper, a hotel, a place, or a university or anything. Remember, Drake Bulldogs.
And it is his governmental middle name too.
It is.
So it is.
It's a proper name. Mm-hmm. It's a proper name. Now, this next line is what usually gets my partner going.
Ill.
And this makes me seem so ill. Hey, y'all remember the song You Be Illin'? This guy was illin' when he wrote this damn thing.
Oh, yes.
He is an icon. You know what the line is. He is an icon with a 100 millions follower. What the hell did this guy cook? Let me read that second part again. With a 100 millions follower. Folks, you can't make this up.
A 100 millions follower.
A 100 millions follower. I don't have to ask what the hell is wrong with that sentence. And next is the only part of this thing that he got right grammatically. Yes. Look at how many people look up to him.
Yes.
That's the only part of this that he got right. I wish I was kidding when I say that. Mm-hmm. Now,
the part that takes you out.
He changed lives. Not changes. Change.
He changed lives.
He changed lives.
Oh my gosh.
A singular person change lives. Not changes, change.
Now, I thought we were taught, because I think we had the same grammatical teaching. I thought we were taught that if you use a verb and you refer to the noun as something singular, the verb has an S on it.
Yes.
But if if the noun's plural, There's no S, right?
Correct. On both
Okay,
counts.
I just had to make sure that was the rule because.
That's the rule.
Oh my, yeah.
That's the rule.
Oh my goodness.
He changed lives and gave any new NBA player an opportunity to play in the NBA. That's a blankety blank lie.
And he used a noun twice in the same sentence. Oh, Lord. He changed lives and gave any new NBA player an opportunity to play in the NBA. Yes, and on its merit, yes, it's a lie. Yes.
Here's another lie with grammatical errors all over the place. He
It's a short sentence.
Get his teammates great salaries.
Oh, yes, I gotta remember to add that one too.
He get his
teammates great salaries.
Not get. Get.
He get his players great salaries. Oh Lord, no wonder why people think
get his team.
No wonder why people think that we have no idea how to speak the language. Lord have mercy.
Look how many UC go to finals. Okay, where's the in that sentence?
Oh my gosh. I have to now thank you for doing this, because I'm getting more material to use for future Bronsexual Confessions. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I mean, haven't you told me so many times over that the material writes itself?
Yes. And this is the quintessential definition of that sentence. The jokes just write themselves. I didn't have to say one single solitary thing. I saw this and I'm like, this joke.
This is a running joke that's full of run-ons.
Yes, a running joke full of run-ons. Yes.
Look how many UC go to finals. Okay, what's the missing word in front of that? Players.
Players.
Go to finals. Where's the? And how many people want to be like LeBron James? What in the hell are you trying to say to us?
Well, see, I think he's confusing the 23, because, there was another 23 who had a jingle written for him when he was doing the Gatorade commercials.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
So I guess he must have thought, sometimes I dream that he is me, like LeBron. If I could be like LeBron. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. LeBron has been chasing ghosts for 19 years.
And still chasing them.
And still chasing them. This is where I broke my partner yesterday. If y'all heard loud laughter and your ears were bleeding and yet you were laughing too, this is why.
The setup was beautiful.
Look at his stats, his rep, and then I just threw in his swag, his skin.
Bam, right there. That was expertly set up by you. Because I was just not expecting it. I was like, okay, he's just going through stuff, and then bam,
and then that
swag and skin line. Yes.
Oh, there's more. Ahead, he put a period after skin, and yet he was still continuing the list. Yes. He put a period after the word skin. And he was still continuing the list. His height and arms.
And that was the sentence.
Look at his stat. Okay, y'all want me to break this down, Bron
Go ahead, break
Sexuals?
it down.
Here you
Go
go.
ahead, break it down.
Look at his stats. They're bloated because he travels every time he goes to the hoop. His rep, no thank you. 2016 Progressive Field. His swag, where?
Well, I'll say this: 2018 NBA Finals, Game 1, post game. You know when he
When he
was
wore the
wearing that-
shorts?
yeah, when he wore the shorts and had the attaché case. Yeah, and he had all the Cavaliers dressed like him. Yeah, that was supposed to be swag. Looked like a.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Back up.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
not
sir.
swag.
Yeah, I agree.
Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen wearing suits that make you jealous. That's swag. And they actually backed it up on the court. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. Meanwhile, you have LeBron James back then trying to look like a black broke version of Angus Young of AC/DC.
Oh, God, you did not bring... And you know I love AC/DC. You know I love AC/DC.
That was 100% specifically for you, my friend.
Was that for me?
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And you know I love classic rock. I love it. I love it. Oh, my goodness. I love Bron. I love LeBron James, and he is the king. Period. Where do I... First of all, where do I unpack this? Isn't that what you tell me every Monday during football season? Where do we unpack this? If we talk about a certain game, where do I...
Yes.
I don't want to unpack this. Even though it's been unpacked already. Even though...
It's funny, man. I just don't get it.
And this is how most bronsexuals think.
That's the scary part.
More to the point, these are how most bronsexuals act. Am I wrong?
Yes. Oh, no. You're not wrong at all.
Am I wrong here?
Mm-mm. You're not wrong by a little bit. You're not even off. You're not even, but you're incomplete. No, you're correctly right on target.
Okay,
yes.
Let's go back to the second sentence. I'm not sus, gay, or anything like that. I have a question for you, sir. This whole paragraph, and I don't want to even use the word homage, in worship, in flat out worship.
He said, I'm not going to use the word homage.
I'm not going to use I can't use the word homage because homage seems light.
You can't even say I'm paying homage to him. Yes, I agree. This is a worship paragraph.
This is worship. This is flat out.
This is straight up worship of the highest grade, highest form.
This is flat out worship. You can't tell me this is. I'll slip this promo in. Courtney Harden will join me at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to continue this, as well as talk of Wild Card Weekend. And you're going to love Courtney Harden. You've seen Courtney Harden online.
Yeah,
Courtney Harden.
I'm taught to.
We're going to have fun, man. I am not sus, gay, or none of that these haters say on Facebook. But looking at this part. But looking at this entire paragraph, I'll just throw the question as plainly as I threw it to you off the air.
Okay.
Doesn't this sound a little fruity to you?
Look, the fact that this is straight up
worship.
Well, yeah, it is straight up worship. But that statement right there, it is straight up the warning that people give you. You know, when you say things like this and you put a but afterwards, you basically negate everything else. I mean, you negate everything before it. And that was the one thing that I actually sort of put in sort of silent. It's sort of silent. I'm not I'm not sus gay or none of these these haters say on the FB. But me and LeBron is like meeting Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley did to watching Rihanna Drake. The whole paragraph is suspect. The whole paragraph, from the word "the" to the word "period," all of it is suspect.
If you want to call it a paragraph.
Okay,
now,
this verbal diarrhea.
Thank you. Now I admitted on this show several hundred times over that I fanboyed out when I met the real king, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, because I was announcing his son's game. Okay?
Makes sense.
Did I fanboy out? Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I did. And I'm not holding back when I do that. I fanboyed out when I met Candace Parker, when I saw her play at Naperville Central. Okay? And I knew how great she was going to be.
Awesome basketball player.
I fanboy out when I watch women's basketball. Hell, I fanboy out when I cover women's basketball. Mm-hmm. This is worse than fanboying out, folks. This is worse. How in the Vita Blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell do you explain this?
That's how I explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Knees are worn out, okay?
They're probably bleeding now.
The jeans are done. The jeans are done for.
Yes, the jeans at the knees.
The jeans are done for. You know that. The jeans are done for.
Mm-hmm.
That's just ew.
Mm-hmm.
Just plain ew. And then I look at some of the comments. And the best one that I've read, that's just taking this man crush thing a little bit too far. And even on that response, the two is spelled incorrectly in context. When trying to prove a point goes completely wrong. Ain't that the truth?
Facts on facts on facts.
It sounds more like infatuation.
Yes.
I don't have to read the rest of that. I'll stop there because there's grammatical errors in the comments too. What does that tell you? Listen, this is why I got away from these groups and some of these group chats. But the groups that talk about basketball especially, because the grammar in these groups frighten me, to say the least.
It is absolutely bottom level. And it's messed up, the fact that we actually slide these mics under our mouths for a living.
Mm-hmm.
It means that we have to be on top of our grammatical game.
That's the first thing.
Yes, and I'm about to say, and that's base level.
That's base level. It is. That's base level. That's basic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's foundational.
If you put if you put a microphone in your mouth, and we spoke about this about seeing people on Facebook. God help us. I mean,
I had to give credit to one of my boys who, my man Sydney, when when he read this, one of his comments was about this was, quote, WTF, ellipses. See, this, that millennial / Lil Nas X mess. Close quote.
I add 3 words, and you know my next 3 words very, very well. Find the lie.
Oh my gosh.
Find the lie.
That is one of the most dead-on descriptions of this verbal diarrhea that I have ever read.
It's dead on. It's perfect. It's right there. Okay? I was so blown away because I could not come up with anything when I first read it. I just basically said, look, this is from the Get Your Mans department. And people made that comment about me. All right? I'm serious. People made that comment about me. Now, I'm going to welcome Courtney Harden to the conversation. What's up, Courtney? I finally got you back on the show.
I know, man. What's good? How you doing, man?
I am so mad at you for taking so long to come on, but I can't be mad at you. I can't be mad at you because you've been, like Cole, been one of my best friends through this entire journey for me, and I thank you for it.
Of course, man. I'm glad we definitely connected quite a few years ago.
Yes.
We had a great relationship, working relationship and everything, and even beyond that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad to, like I said, just be part of your journey and your story and everything else. So I'm glad you're doing well and everything too as well.
I appreciate it. Now, the folks who are watching on the video feed, you're going to see a correction being made because I got the wrong graphic up, so I'm going to correct that right now. But one of the first questions I'll never forget that Courtney Harden asked me when we were discussing the NBA playoffs in 2018, and he led in and said, "Do you think that the Rockets have a chance?" And before he can complete his question, I stopped at him and I said, "Hell no."
Yes, I remember.
I said, hell no. And Courtney, being the professional that he is, love him for this. He said, you don't think that? I said, look, the Houston Rockets have had multiple shots at the Golden State Warriors, and each time they've done what? Took a big fat L.
Yes, they did.
And he said, they're gonna do that this time? Yep. It took them 7 games, but they did. And day after Memorial Day, 2018, Courtney sent me a message and said, "How did you know this? Look at the mentality. This is what Cole and I talk about Cole, you speak to this better than I, being a Rockets fan, but being an NBA fan, look at the mentality. The Rockets took a 3-2 lead and sat on it."
It upsets me when I think about that because they had the Warriors right where they wanted them. Mm-hmm. And they actually thought basically when they were up 3-2, the series was over. They did. Like the series was over.
They played
it
it.
Was frustrating to me. It was frustrating to me.
Again, you all are seeing corrections on the fly as far as the graphics go, but man, the mentality speaks to itself. All right? The mentality speaks to itself. Just like the mentality is going to speak to itself this weekend when your Philadelphia Eagles take on the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers and the Eagles starting a wild card round. This is wild card weekend. And Courtney, I want you to help me break this down. How do the Eagles spring the upset that I'm calling for?
Ooh, that's a tough one. And I'm a big Eagles fan living here in Philly.
Yes.
And it's interesting. Even if they lose, I think I think the Eagles will lose. I think they're going to lose this game. I do. As a fan, I'm very objective.
Right.
So
right.
And, I just think it's stacked against them. But the best chance they have to do, they got to continue what they've been doing over the last 7-8 weeks. Run the football.
Agree.
They got to run the football. Yes. And continue to run.
And I think the wheels have been greased for them to run the ball a little easier because I remember in game 1, you'll probably hate me for saying the team that I'm about to say, Courtney.
No, don't, please.
When the NFL began this season and the Cowboys was playing the Bucks, when I'd show that the Cowboys were being stupid and just having Dak throw and throw and throw.
Yep.
And I said, okay, I see this stat line of Ezekiel Elliott, 11 carries, 33 yards. You know what I heard from Cowboys fans? Well, we couldn't run it because the Bucks defensive line is stout against the run, so we had to go with the pass.
Yep.
Your team is built to run. Why would you want to go antithetical to what you do best? So yes, to your point, what the Eagles do best is run, especially on the outside. They test a defense's lateral ability to get from sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
And if they can continue to do that, they will give the Bucks a good run for their money. And I believe the Bucks can be had in the run game now.
And they can. And the most important thing, they can be had in the run game. They can be had in the run game at home in Tampa.
Yeah, and a good portion of that is yes, we have 4 running backs that can actually run the football, and Jalen Hurts can run the football too. So that's a big difference too as well. Jalen Hurts is elusive enough. If he needs to break out and get into that run game himself, he's gonna have to do that. And against Dallas, Dak, he can scramble a little bit, but he's definitely not Jalen Hurts on that level when it comes to scrambling. So that can be it, the equalizer to soften up that Bucs D. Yes, the Bucs defensive line is very strong, and if you say, okay, that's strength versus strength, our run game versus their defensive line, but as you say, you can't give up on the run unless you're down 28-0.
Right.
So you have no choice but to throw the football. But if you run the football and you keep Tom Brady on the sideline, it's just like with all these great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, you keep those guys on the sideline running the football effectively, continue to keep running, the Eagles definitely have a chance. I think they definitely have a chance. They can't get into a shootout with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, though.
They really can't. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah. That is the best defense against an elite quarterback.
Yes.
A running game. That's the best defense. The opposing team's running game. That's the best defense against them.
All right.
They can't hurt you on the sideline.
Since I have Courtney Harden here, let's go through all of them. We'll start on Saturday with the Raiders and the Bengals. A 4:30 kickoff. NBC has the call. Raiders and Bengals. What do you think, Courtney?
I like Cincy in this one. I think the Raiders have had for the season that they've had, to get to the playoffs is an accomplishment in itself. And the way they got in against those LA Chargers and that last play in overtime to get in, I think the Bengals, with that offense and that weaponry that they have, I believe they get past the Raiders.
All right, let's go ahead and do our picks now. What do you think, Cole? What do you think?
Actually, this is probably the most intriguing of all the matchups, and all of them are really good. But this to me is the most intriguing because you have two teams that basically went up and down all throughout the season.
Yes.
Yep.
And what I loved about the Raiders was that they have had a lot of drama. I mean, a soap opera would actually enjoy this team this year, and they've overcome it all to be in the playoffs. And the Bengals, they basically just suffer from just youthful exuberance. You know, whenever they make their 2 steps forward, they have that 1 step back, and this normally would be the time where they would take that 1 step forward because, well, they lost to the Browns last week, and I figured they would probably get their footing going. I actually like the Bengals in this a little more than the Raiders, but this is going to be a good game, though.
It's going to be razor thin. Cincinnati getting 5.5 at home, and using Cole's theory, they're begging you to bet on the Raiders because they want to continue this Cinderella story, and the Raiders want to do what they did in 1980, and that's from wild card to the Super Bowl. Speaking of wild cards, let's go to Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. It's the Patriots and the Bills for the 3rd time this year. Bills won the second one in New England, which is the reason they are the AFC East champions. Bills getting 4.5 at home. I will start this one. I say the Bills do it again, and this time at home, and the Bills will be able to use all of their weapons. Cole, what do you think?
This battle I think will not be similar to how they did it the last time they went Orchard Park. This to me is a battle of if Belichick can stop Josh Allen from what he does best.
Right.
I think it is that. I think the question is there. If the answer is yes, the Patriots win. The answer is no, the Bills will win. And I think it's also buoyed by the fact that Belichick knows he wants Mac Jones to cause as little disturbance as possible.
Right.
And so I know he wants to manage him and manage his expectations so he will not make the mistakes. And I think that will cost him because I think he'll have to worry too much about that. Meanwhile, the defense will have to worry too much about Allen.
Yep.
And I think he'll succeed at home.
Yeah.
And he's familiar in the playoffs. I mean, he won 2 home player games last year. I think he'll win his third. So is the Bills.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills. Courtney, what you got for me?
I think I agree with both of you guys. I think the Bills win this one. I think they win ugly, though, because I just read in Buffalo it's going to be very, very cold. But this is playoff football. Buffalo's used to this. And, New England is too. In Boston, they used to the cold too. But I agree. I think Josh Allen makes enough plays in this game. It's going to be a battle of Josh Allen versus, like I said, Bill Belichick and that defense. Another thing Buffalo has on their side, they're healthy. New England, on the other hand, they're not 100%, and some guys are out on that defensive front. So I think Buffalo does enough. Josh Allen will lead the charge again because he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you with his legs. Even when he has a bad game with his arm, he can still run the football.
Right.
And now that Buffalo – they're starting to get that running game going too with those outside weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very dangerous team. So I like Buffalo in a very low scoring but ugly game, like maybe like 18-13, something like that.
And it's going to be very low scoring game. I'm going to skip ahead to Monday because I want to get this one out of the way because of the bile in my throat. Cardinals and Rams from SoFi Stadium. And I'll explain why I have bile in my throat about this game. I've watched these two teams play twice. The Cardinals bullied the Rams in SoFi, and then the Rams returned the favor in Arizona. And after the Rams won in Glendale, the next day I said, I'm not impressed with either one of these teams. I'm not impressed with either one of these teams because they have okay, y'all are going to get mad at me, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. They got mediocre quarterbacks. You can't trust Kyler Murray to throw the ball down the field. You can't trust Matthew Stafford to throw the ball downfield correctly. Just ask the San Francisco 49ers. And neither one of these two teams can run the football. Period. But considering I have to make a pick and the Rams are getting 4 at home, F that. I'm taking the Cardinals and I'm taking the points. Let me go to Courtney for this one.
I agree with you, man. Both of these teams disappointed in the end.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford, there's quarters where he plays lights out like an MVP candidate, and then there's those other quarters in the same game. In the other quarters, he's throwing interceptions.
Week 18. Week 18. That's all I got to say.
Yep, week 18. So, but Matthew Stafford, can he get back to that what he was beginning of the season, or are we going to get the Matthew Stafford that was at the end of the season?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to admit, this is Matthew Stafford. He was like this in Detroit. Yes, they got more weapons. He's on a better team. I mean, but Matthew Stafford, he does throw these picks in these big games. But Arizona, down the stretch, they went 1-4. I know they've had a lot of injuries.
And they lost 5 in a row at home.
Yeah, 5 in a row at home. Yes. So now you got Arizona on the road going in L.A. I like Arizona, though, in this game, in a close game. I think they do it just enough. I think Kyler Murray, if he limits those mistakes, he gets back to running the football. Another quarterback needs to run the football himself. He gets back that. I think they win in a close. I like the Cardinals too. I don't know if you call it an upset, but maybe it is because a lot of people had the Rams going to the Super Bowl. So I'm going with the Cardinals.
And they're not. Rams are going to be one and done. Yep. And whoever the Cardinals play, if they win, whoever the Cardinals play next, they're going to punch them the Cardinals are going to get punched in the mouth. Cole, talk to me.
Well, of course, the reason why, Brian, you have bile in your mouth is because both teams reside in the division.
Yeah. Yep. That's the biggest part of the reason.
Okay. Now, this game is straight up about the two quarterbacks. It's about Stafford and it's about Murray. And the question is, which one is going to cause the fewest errors? Which one's going to make the fewer mistakes? Which one is going to actually step up when their team needs him the most? Because you can't really cite the running game because neither one
has a running game. My gosh.
You can't really cite too hard pass rush. Yes, I know Aaron Donald for the Rams and Chandler Jones for the Cardinals.
Yep.
But neither one really is stout in the pass rushing. It's more like pass rushing by committee.
And you know what's bad? Everyone said
that either.
And you know what's bad? Everyone said the Rams have a better pass rush than the 49ers. Who lied? I'm sorry.
That's right. Even though the Rams have the name in the secondary, most secondaries are and the wide receiver core, it's a wash. So I mean, these teams are evenly matched. It just comes down to which quarterback's going to make the less mistakes. Yep. And I really believe Stafford is going to still be 0-4 in the playoffs. I take the Cardinals because the Cardinals only lost one game away from Phoenix, from the desert.
From the desert. And Matthew Stafford is going to be Matthew Stafford. He's going to be over the playoffs still. And if you saw his performance in the second half of Week 18, that should tell you everything you need to know about what's going to happen this Sunday. This Monday, I beg your pardon. Steelers and Chiefs get the feature game. I don't know why. Kansas City gets 12.5 at home. And to repeat something Cole said at the top of the program, we now have a moment of silence for Ben Roethlisberger, who is going to be playing his last game. He ran out of miracles in Baltimore. This is going to be a runaway. I'm taking the Chiefs, and I'm laying the points. Let me go to Courtney.
I ain't got much else to say. The last time these two teams played, the Chiefs won 36-10, and then Pittsburgh, they couldn't do anything. There was 5 fumbles. I can see Ben getting, the Kansas City can commit a couple turnovers. They turn them over a little bit. I agree with you. I think Kansas City blows them out too. So this is it for Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh.
Yep. This is his
career. Yep.
Do you make this unanimous, Cole?
Yes, I do. And the reason why this game is the feature game is because the NFL wants to send Ben Roethlisberger out on a high note, even though I know the Steelers losing will be a low note.
It's going to be a low note.
They want to send him out on prime time. The best slot of this weekend is, of course, Sunday night. Yes, I know, Monday Night Football in the playoffs for the first time. Even with that, this is the slot. And
I got to be around a lot of Chiefs fans this weekend. I got to work on Sunday, so I'm around a lot of Cowboy fans and a lot of Chief fans. So I'm going to be going through hell in a handbasket at the hotel. I mean that in fun, of course, because all the fans that come through there are great.
Now I know the Steelers. Their only hope is to make this game as ugly as they possibly can.
Yes,
they have to make it ugly, and if they can, they stand a chance. But the Chiefs play too pretty a brand of football to have the Steelers make this ugly. Because, quite frankly, on offense, the Steelers do not have the horses. The Chiefs, on the other hand, do, and they don't have to play too hard of a defense on their end. All they need to do is possibly, get a couple of 3-and-outs, maybe even get a turnover. The Chiefs don't have to do much defensively.
Nope.
The Chiefs offensively will take it to the next round.
All right, so we make it unanimous. Ben plays his last game. And now for the juiciest matchup of the weekend, and Cole and I are going to preview, I should say, for the rest of the program. The segments are going to be us previewing the game. So I'm going to be a madman in production because I didn't get a chance to do my graphics. I won't have Mike debate this afternoon. Juiciest matchup of the weekend: 49ers and Cowboys. You know the San Francisco story. Nobody trusts Jimmy Garoppolo. My question, why? Because he went into the Rams' house and led not only the game-tying drive, but the game-winning drive. And Ambry Thomas sealed the deal. What's one thing that the Cowboys can't do? Stop the run. What's one thing the 49ers can do very, very well? Run the football.
Yep.
Dallas getting 3 at home. The hell with that. I'm taking the 49ers for the straight-up win, and I'm taking all those points. The 49ers will pull the upset and move on. Courtney?
I agree with you again, man. I like the 49ers, and I know if the people are listening, they say, well, he's an Eagles fan. He's going to go against Cowboys. Yeah, true. That might be biased. Oh, well.
I love how he does not shy away from it. Go ahead, Courtney.
You ain't supposed to shy away from it, man.
Doing it at all. Doing it at all. But we said objectively, we can say, as you said, the 49ers, their strength is running the football. So against that Dallas defense, which the Dallas defense has played well throughout the year. They got athletes. They're very athletic. They fly all over the field. But against a team like that, an athletic team, what's the equalizer? To run the football with a powerhouse running game, and that's what San Francisco does. That they do that very, very well. As long as Jimmy G can play. I mean, Jimmy G is a good quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. He can win. He has won in his career. So when
Jimmy G is a winner.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he can win the football. He can win the football. So I think if they run the football effectively, like they've been doing, and they just make enough, and Jimmy G just limits those turnovers. Now, if he turns the ball over, that's Dallas'.
That's a problem. That is a problem.
And then Dak with those weapons and they're running. If they run the football themselves, they could win this game. But I got San Francisco. I think their strength is running the football, and I think that's the equalizer against that athletic defense of Dallas and a physical game. San Fran wins a close one.
Dallas wants to be athletic. The 49ers want to be physical. What did I say this week? What did I say this week, Cole? Dallas wants to skirt around you. The 49ers want to go through you. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah. So the line is Dallas by 3, huh?
I'm taking those. I'm taking those points.
So that basically tells me Vegas has the Niners.
Yep.
That's what that tells me.
That's what tells me, because if they didn't, this line would be bigger.
Right.
If they trusted the Cowboys, this tells you Vegas does not trust the Cowboys.
Yes. This tells me
3/4 of the country don't trust the Cowboys. Yes. I don't trust Dak Prescott. I don't trust Mike McCarthy to use Ezekiel Elliott, and there's no way you're going to run against that 49er defensive line. Not a chance.
Yes. So
I don't care if you are Ezekiel Elliott. You ain't running against that 49er line.
Yeah. So Vegas doesn't trust him. The bettors don't trust him. The only people that do trust him is probably half the analysts that are out there who do, and maybe some of Weed and Boys Nation.
Yeah.
But this is how it goes down. So the Cowboys want to make this a spectacular, beautiful game. They want it to be art. They want it to be beauty. They want it to be pristine. And they want to show that Dak Prescott is the white knight in the shining armor, and he's saving the Cowboys from mediocrity and bringing them to Super Bowl glory past. So they want this. They want this Camelot-ish viewpoint,
right?
They want it to be beautiful. And of course, it's also made beautiful by Micah Parsons, who was a stud as a defensive end / outside linebacker. And of course, people want to rave about Trayvon Diggs. 11 interceptions. That's wonderful. Giving up over 1,000 yards to different receivers. That's
which means Deebo Samuel or Jawan Jennings could have a field day. You know who else could have a field day? George Kittle.
And this is the dilemma the Cowboys defense has. Who is going to be put on Deebo Samuel? You're going to put Diggs on him, or are you going to put Parsons on him? And so that is where the questions start to break down. And I can give you this wonderful dissertation about how the 49ers are built to play everywhere, which they are. And I can say the Cowboys are more athletic, which they are. Here's where it comes down to for me. On the sidelines coaching for the Dallas Cowboys is Mike McCarthy. And this man is allergic to a running game.
Even though Zeke has 1,000 yards this season, how did he get those 1,000 yards? Piece by little piece by little piece by little piece.
I mean, look, I could say that the Cowboys we done him at Debo Samuel
Mhm.
or Garoppolo not making mistakes or Bosa getting 2 sacks or anything else.
Mhm.
The Cowboys will lose the game. The 49ers will win it because Ezekiel Elliott will not see the ball 20 times this game. That's my issue.
And that's combined. That's combined touches.
That's combined, and I mean combined. Pass and run.
Mhm.
He will not see the ball 20 times because you got Mike McCarthy's dumb behind coaching this team, and he's allergic to passing. He's allergic to running.
He's allergic to a lot
I have
of
the
things.
49ers.
He's allergic to running, and the 49ers scare him.
Yeah.
You bring up I was gonna say, just to add a little bit to that, you're right. I think that's the difference to the coaching. That's a huge difference because Mike McCarthy, as we said, as we've seen all season, makes those boneheaded decisions, time management, clock management.
Yep.
Not running the football. There's all these.
I'm sorry. Did you say not running the football?
Yes.
Yeah,
Not
right.
running the football.
Not running the football. And we've seen him, like when you say, he looks and he's like, well, in the timeouts. It's like, and I've had a lot of Cowboy fans on my show.
I bet.
We talk about that, and I say that, and I ask them all the time, how concerned are you with Mike McCarthy? And they all say the same thing. He's going to be the difference. He's going to be the difference of us winning and losing, and that's a huge difference.
They're correct.
6-0 in the division, 6-5 against everybody else. That 5 is going to turn into a 6 on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
I don't trust. You don't trust Dak Prescott. You don't trust McCarthy because McCarthy's going to eliminate Ezekiel Elliott out of the lineup himself.
I will exclamation point this. I trust Dak Prescott a whole lot more than I do Mike McCarthy.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Approaching halftime here, Courtney Harden, the host of The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. He's got a great show coming on Saturday. Y'all need to check it out. Thank you, my brother. I love you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys both, and thank you for letting me come on.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, you too. All right, talk to you soon.
How the hell can you trust Mike McCarthy to make the calls that need to be made?
Yeah, because that's
You
where
can't.
the game is for me.
You
right
can't.
There. That is where the game is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, yes, I can. Like I said, I can rate about everything else. I am not trusting of Mike McCarthy because he has made some bonehead this year.
Yes.
Made some bonehead decisions on the sideline.
The two best coaches the Cowboys have ever had are Jimmy Johnson and Tom Landry.
And neither one and both of them, the one thing you can never say about them was that they did not know what to do in those pressure situations because they always find a way to put their teams in position to win.
Mm-hmm.
They may not have won every game,
but they put their teams in position to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They put the teams in position to win, and they made sure that they were not going to be the ultimate reason why their teams lost.
And I'll give you two pairs that worked with the Cowboys: Tony Dorsett and Robert Newhouse, Emmitt Smith and Darryl Johnston.
Great fullback, halfback combinations. Both of them were.
And I love watching them both.
Not get his due.
Robert Newhouse doesn't get his due. Butch Johnson doesn't get his due. Doug Cosby.
He most certainly doesn't.
Doug Cosby,
yes.
Jay Novacek.
Oh, the greatest safety net I've ever seen. In terms of, you have all these dynamic players, but the offense kept being on time because of this guy, and he flew under the radar the whole time.
And I love Novacek, and I love the Moose. How can you not? I love the Moose. Love seeing him. Love seeing him do his thing. Hey, folks, portions of this program brought to you in part by the Diaspora Psychedelic Society, a Jamaican-based member organization committed to total wellness through the lens of nature-based ethnogens and sacred medicines. Find out more at diasporapsychedelicsociety.org. That's diasporapsychedelicsociety.org. And thank you to Transform You Radio for not only carrying this program, but for getting us that sponsor. We got a break. I got to make some graphics. We'll come back and start our super wild card weekend on the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. We're back in a flash.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver.